is there in that entourage. He's a realist. He knows he'll never reach the rock star stature of Julio Cesar Chavez, but he thinks he could be up there with guys like Ferreira and Morales, people of that ilk. It's been a frantic schedule, but the wait's finally over for the always tenacious Castillo. Now all that's left is for Castillo to win. And despite the brevity between fights, he is supremely confident.
We talk about the longer layoff, obviously, of Corrales, but Castillo's fought 4 times in the last year, and 2 months, not a long time in between, Steve, when you come into one of the most important fights of your life, because you want at least a 6-week training period. So will that short period hurt Castillo?
Yeah, there's a lot of doubt because of that. The square-jawed Castillo never down in 59 pro fights, 15 years of action. But he's never gone up against the power of Diego Corrales. Castillo says he welcomes Corrales. He is extremely bold, feels he's got the beard to stand up to Chico's heavy fists, even invites a toe-to-toe brawl. Of 2 hard-fought fights, one quite recently, as we have been pointing out, could that be with a fighter like caliber? There's Julio Cesar Chavez along with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the crowd, giving Castillo a big thumbs up.
And there's a real affection between these 2 men. Castillo doesn't feel he lives in his shadow. He says, I'm just happy to be associated with Chavez.
And of course, Chavez's former chief sparring partner, which gave him a lot of confidence to get to this level. Chico Corrales, very personal outside the ring, transforms himself into one of the fiercest fighters going today, looking very focused. We saw what he did versus Freitas, made the proud Brazilian quit. He was the first guy to really hurt Mayor. His power can simply change a fight. He said he'd walk through hell to beat Castillo. That may truly have to happen against the relentless, busy punching Mexican. We've got 2 guys who personify toughness, power, and courage. And Castillo are just as excited about this fight as the media and the fans.
They really are. You know, Corrales had an interesting moment with Castillo on Wednesday when they had an open workout. He said, you know what? He hugged him and he said, you know what? We're going to make some history. And they know it's a fight fans fight.
He's working for the history of the sport. That's what drives him, says Corrales. He is mentally and physically prepared for the hardest fight of his career.
And he's working his crowd, looking at all 4 corners of this ring and getting them to respond.
Well, these guys want to fight the best to show who is the best in the lightweight division. That's why we are here tonight. Diego Corrales is ready. James Toney is ready, along with Winky Wright, among many people here at Mandalay Bay. It is a fighter's fight, a fight fan's fight, and everybody's out to have a lot of fun watching this fight. Let's size them up as we check out the tale of the tape. Corrales has the youth. Castillo has always been thought of as a big lightweight. That would make Corrales the Yao Ming of the division. Chico with the slight edge and reach at yesterday's weigh-in. Castillo, Corrales both right on. Tonight, Castillo 146, Corrales a +12 at 147. And a look at the notable rules for this unification fight. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell of the division. Chico with the slight edge and reach at yesterday's weigh-in. Castillo, Corrales both right on. Fights rule to no decision. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecard. So here at Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada, getting ready for our main event. José Luis Castillo versus Diego Corrales. We are set for the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to one of the world's great destinations, the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as it's time for the featured bout of the evening, and it's all brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions, Top Rank Incorporated, and Arthur Palullo's Banner Promotions in association with the Mandalay Bay and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBC President José Sulaiman, Supervisor Peter Stuckey, the WBO President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor John Duggan, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Skip Avancino Jr., Commissioners Dr. Tony Alamo, John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and Dr. Flip Pomansky, with the Executive Director Mark Ratner. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. William Berliner, Dr. Todd Chapman, Dr. Al Capana, and Dr. Margaret Goodman. And our timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, we have Jane Broadwood and Mike Lasella. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside, from Los Angeles, California, Dr. Lou Moret. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Paul Smith. And from Liefdal, Belgium, Daniel Thunderbiel. And our third man of the ring, the referee in charge, he is working at his 23rd world title bout, Tony Weeks. All right, and here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBC and WBO lightweight championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Mandalay Bay, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, ladies and gentlemen, the WBO champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing white trunks with red trim, he is fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Sacramento, California. He weighed in at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds even. His record stands at 39 wins, 2 losses, 32 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former IBF and WBO Junior Lightweight World Champion and the current WBO Lightweight Champion of the world, introducing Diego Chico and his opponent across the ring, the WBC World Champion on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with gold lettering, hailing from and representing his home of Empalme, Sonora, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 135 pounds. His record stands at 52 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, with 46 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2-time and current WBC lightweight champion of the world, introducing José Luis El Temible Castillo. Once again, a referee in charge, Tony Weeks, now to give instructions.
Caballeros, ¿ustedes recibió sus instrucciones?
Mira, aquí está bien, aquí no. Mira, aquí está bien, aquí no. Ten la cintura para arriba. Yo quiero una play limpia. Escúchame, cuídate. ¿Listos? ¡Vámonos!
On the same day as the Kentucky Derby, we'll see 2 of boxing's top thoroughbreds hoping to power their way to glory. Until now, Castillo could only think about or talk about Corrales' crushing power. Tonight, he expects to find out exactly how it feels and how he'll react if Chico connects. The power of Corrales has been his godsend, but against the smothering attack of Castillo, the answer may be the jab. Chico not used to fighters actually coming at him of late with Freitas and Casmayor, his last 2 opponents. Very different story tonight. Here we go.
And maybe one thing that people should remember right from the get-go, Diego Corrales came up from junior lightweight, ultimately beat Freitas for the title. Castillo is a big, strong lightweight who has been at this weight class for essentially his whole career.
Castillo never dropped or KO'd. He's been stopped 4 times on cuts. However, he is historically a slow starter, particularly his last couple of fights. But he said if Corrales comes at him, it'll be a brawl, a grueling slugfest. Interesting to see what Pat Corrales takes here at the outset.
And already we're seeing Corrales happy to stay on the inside with Castillo. We'll see how this plays out. He's trading hooks with Castillo. He's staying right in there with him. Some would say that's a mistake. We'll see.
He is looking, Corrales, to force a shootout with Castillo. Looking to establish an early presence, just as he said he would, knowing Castillo is a slow starter, and gets stronger as the fight goes on.
Already Tony Weeks with a warning to Castillo is Castillo's a rough customer on the inside. He'll use his head, elbows, etc.
Some call him dirty.
A lot of body work by Corrales early, Steve. That's interesting.
And there it is. Meanwhile, Castillo coming right back. He said to beat Corrales, he'll have to stay close, throw a lot of punches, pressure him. Don't let Chico think.
This is going to be a great fight. I can tell you right now. Corrales is making it have to be a great fight.
They will look to wear each other down. In other words, as mentioned before, a war of attrition, perhaps.
On the surface of it, as you hear the fans chanting for Castillo, and there are a lot of Mexican fans here for Cinco de Mayo, on the surface of it, you would think this is a very risky move for Corrales early. But so far, he's kind of making it work.
Don't do that.
Rapid punching by Corrales, getting the caution from Tony Weeks, a solid, highly regarded referee.
Great body work by Corrales. And how about this so far? Corrales has rabbit punched and punched low once, so he's the guy that's pushing the envelope.
And usually it's Castillo who's blamed for those roughhouse tactics.
Corrales claims he sparred 16 rounds one day with 4 sparring partners. He said, I am as ready as I could ever be for this fight.
Comes off a monster training camp, 23 different fights all told. One of his sparring partners, José Santa Cruz. And here's an exchange as they go toe-to-toe as advertised in the center of the ring.
And I think the one mistake Corrales is making is he's hooking with a hooker. Don't make the left hook your primary weapon, and Corrales is doing that.
Yep. Wow. So an action-packed opening round.
Got to make sure that chin is buried every time you start banging with it. Now that left hook is working good on the inside, and the body shots are working good. Stay a little bit more with that jab. He's looking to counter your jab with that right hand. He's going to come with that eventually. All right? But I'll tell you what, nice turns on him. You were scoring first. You saw.
Referee Tony Weeks will give a warning to Corrales for hitting behind the head, rabbit punching. Twice Corrales gets it done. Now Corrales went downstairs very effectively to the body, ripping downstairs with the left, and he threw a lot of shots. There's the left hook downstairs. And the left hook was a big signature punch for Corrales in round 1, but it's dangerous because he was countered by a better left hooker in Jose Luis Castillo.
So this fight heating up early. Here we go, round 2. Castillo in the red, Corrales in the white.
There's a little bit of a danger here early for Corrales. He wanted to use the jab a lot in this fight. And he's not using it quite as much as I think he would like, Stephen. If he used the jab more, it would keep him at a distance from Castillo.
And he wants to prove he has more than just a left hook. Showed he's not one-dimensional his last couple of fights, really showing marked improvement.
That's Castillo on the inside. He can rip those hooks to the body and the head, and if Corrales hangs in there with him, he'll give him an opportunity to do it.
Yeah, that is Castillo's elbow. A right uppercut and a left hook by Castillo that tags Corrales.
This is a strategic nightmare right now, I think, for Diego Corrales.